So, welcome to this week's edition of Sunday Night Live, Traveling with a Chair. And we're going to be talking about some interesting things associated with our last trip. And then we're actually going to give you a little bit of a tease for the next trip, or not the next trip, but our show next week, because we have a guest joining us then. We're glad to see everybody here. So the first question we always ask is, where are you watching from? And right now we're watching, or actually we're on the show. I guess you can't say we're watching.
Well, we're watching ourselves.
We do watch ourselves. So, which is why I get confused at times. But in North Carolina, but that may not last much longer. We may be coming live on a regular basis from another location. We're working on that right now. But let us know where you're watching from. We always like to know where people join from. And the other thing that we encourage everybody to do is to put your questions in the chat. If as we're talking, if you have a question or a comment, put it in the chat. We'll share it with the world. I do encourage the even if you're watching the show on the replay, that you go ahead and put that information in. Oh, so we got Pam is with us. So last week was so good. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk some more about it. Okay. So I'm going to say this. I would not, just to answer your question, Pam, I think it's fine for solo cruisers. I think it's fine for people of pretty much any adult age. There will be different things that will appeal to people depending on, basically your age bracket. But like I said, I thought it was good. Now, they don't have, the one disadvantage is they don't have any solo single cabins. And I asked and didn't get an answer last week while I was on the ship about if they give the,
You mean balconies?
no, solo, they have solo cabins. And they didn't have any that were accessible.
Oh, not accessible. You said no solo single. And I'm like, what?
Okay. I'm glad she's listening. I'm obviously talking and not listening to myself.
They have 41 single cabins for guests. And so that, yeah. And they, and I thought it would be mostly for younger people. But they said, no, their average age of bookings are between 45 and 65. So we were very comfortable as far as our age being there. A lot of single people were there. They were very comfortable. And what's very interesting is they have a lot of single cabins for staff. We found out the staff are very happy with the accommodations there too. And all the staff use the same soaps, shampoos, that the customers do. So it was interesting to learn about all the things they do on that ship that are different.
Yeah, and it is a different experience. And we'll talk about those differences. And Sam, good to see you. Thanks for joining.
Hi,
Rhonda.
Sam.
Rhonda, nice to have you with us as well. And okay. Okay. Not sure what the question was there, Pam. I'll let you rephrase it and put it back. But to get started with, we're going to talk about, what am I talking about first? Accessibility on board. Yes, there we go. I knew we were talking about something. And what I would say is we thought this ship was extremely accessible. They had, and we'll have video of it, but they have a pool lift, so you can get in the pool. Now, you don't ever see the pool lifts. You just have to ask somebody, and all of a sudden the pool lift shows up. And they'll set it up. They help Cheryl get in and out of the pool. Pool lift's really handy because of the way the pool is laid out. And I'm not a fan of the pool layout because they have large areas at each end that are really shallow water. And I guess if you just wanted to sit there and dink your feet in the water, that's okay. But it seemed to me like a lot of wasted pool space where they could have had it, the deep area much bigger. There may be something underneath that they needed the space for, and that's why it's the way it is.
Yeah, another woman that was in the pool with us said that, looking at the photos of the ship, she thought, oh, she can swim laps early in the morning. Well, yeah, you can swim like 15-foot laps. That's about as long as the pool is in either direction that's deep enough for a lap.
Yeah. So if you're one of those person that does the flip turn, you can basically flip turn from one side to the other, back and forth. I'm not sure that you get a lot of exercise coming. So from that perspective, but the cabin I thought was amazing in its accessibility because the door opened wide. I mentioned this. Okay, Pam, you can't stand too much of us. No, that the average age, that was for everybody in general on the trip, Pam. The ship as a whole, that was the whole population, so to speak. So I thought that some things that were really unique that I liked better than what I've seen on other ships. The first thing is our cabin attendant disconnected the automatic door closer, and it was his idea, and it made getting in and out of the cabin so much easier, didn't you think, Cheryl?
Oh yeah, it only took him like 2 seconds. He just reached up with something and just click, and there. That way, the door. I didn't have to push the door open really with a lot of effort, and it didn't try to close on me too soon. It was very nice. And he also said that they could open the bathrooms were pocket doors, but they automatically close and open when you wave your hand. They'll open. You walk in. About a minute later, it closes on its own. And it can get a little hot in there. They said if you want, they can make it where it always stays open, but light keeps me awake too easily. So I didn't want him waking me up. So I said, no, we'll just deal with it closing. But so it's a very modern ship. It's got a lot of nice features like that.
Yeah, the boarding process accessibility was really good. Like I said, it just in general, I didn't see any issues at all with accessibility on board.
Oh, that's because she said she had to leave early, and Ken said, "Oh, you don't want to be with us."
Yeah, I get confused. Anyway, but that's the fun of doing a live show.
All the restaurants were easily accessible.
Yeah, I thought the food court, and I never can remember the name of it.
It'll come to me in a minute.
Cheryl, think of it. She's
Galley.
The Galley was interesting because it is. We talked a little bit about it last week, but it is a food court more than a buffet. And again, it was very easily accessible. I loved the fact there were some things that made it unique that we liked. There were like I said, the flow of traffic was easy in it. It was easy to get a seat. There were a lot of seats that were basically like where you're sitting at a counter and staring out over the ocean, which was, I thought, pretty cool. There was a lot of places that had power, either USB or AC power in the galley. So if you wanted to work, you could come up there and work. I loved the menu service. I love the fact that for my last day for breakfast, I had food from the noodle restaurant. Cheryl had food from 2 different restaurants, and you just put your order in and it all shows up, which is really nice. And it's always hot and freshly prepared. And to me, that is huge. Because for those of you that are regular cruisers, you can go in and think about what it's like when you go into the buffet, and if the buffet's been open for a couple of hours, there's some of that stuff you're pretty sure has been sitting there for a couple of hours under the heat lamps, and it's just not that appealing. I guess it's appetite control. You look at it and say, I'm not really that hungry.
Yeah, here they put out just a little bit so you can see what it is, not a lot, and then some of it they make to order, like the eggs they don't have sitting out, but like they had avocado toast, they had like 1 or 2 pieces there so you could see what it was and then order it, but they make yours fresh. So the galley was probably I like the fact that it's, like Ken said, fresh, hot, made to order, but still a huge variety because they had a number of different stations there that you could look at.
Yeah, I think there was about 8 different restaurants in the galley area, because there was a burger place, there was a place that did breakfast all the time,
salads.
There was a salad place, a taco stand, there was a sushi place, there was I missed one. The noodle place.
A dessert section.
Dessert section.
And a popsicle stand.
A popsicle stand, yes. they have popsicles. So all of those things were really interesting. They also had something I thought was kind of cool, because if you're just in a hurry or you wanted to run eat on deck or something, what you find is they had like prepared salads and granola, chocolate trail mix, a bunch of different stuff in little plastic containers that you can grab and post.
And they also had fresh fruit sitting there all day long. So even if the galley, as long as you could get in there, you could grab a banana or an orange and head out and have a little healthy snack.
Yeah, so that was very good. And the answer to your question is, Pam, yes, we are 20 for 20. We hit every restaurant on the ship. Now, Cheryl and I had to split up to do that because they didn't have a cargo net to offload me if we'd eaten all of them together. So we did split it up a little bit, but it was, I thought that was very easy. The getting on and off the ship was easy in port. In this particular cruise, everything was a dock. I don't think they do any itineraries where you have to deal with a tender, which means pretty much you're going to be able to wheel on and wheel off the ship, which is really important. They were really good about helping. And one other thing, and I don't think I have a video of it, but it was pretty cool, is the gangplank. When you look at it, it has steps. And what they do is they change the pitch of the gangplank so that it becomes a ramp, and you go down to the midpoint, and then they adjust it again, and then you go down the rest of the way. And they are very good about helping. And I would say this, it was amazing. And this goes back to what Cheryl said about the way they treat the help. And they talked a lot about this, both in some training I did on board, and just in general, is the fact that Richard Branson, the guy that owns it, believes that taking care of your employees is the best investment you can make in having happy customers. And so the crew in general were tremendously happy. We came back from the beach club with someone, and he had been on Celebrity before. We asked him how he liked it, and he says, "I'm here, aren't I?" And
a lot of them had taken a cruise and got hired while on the cruise. I mean, they're on a cruise, they finish their cruise, and they start working because they liked it so much. So it's a nice environment to work on.
Yeah, and it was interesting because we had a lot of interaction. I did at least comments with the captain, and the captain's name is Giovanni. And here's what he says: he says the crew call me either Giovanni or they call me Captain. And he wore a polo shirt, kind of like this. There was no way to look at him. In fact, there was no way to look at any of the staff to know what their rank was or where they were in the hierarchy. And it was pretty much polo shirts. Different color shirts changed. But I was impressed by that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, they don't have an entertainment director. They just have 13 co-workers that have a specialty in different areas, and I thought that was really nice too.
Yeah,
they really enjoyed working with each other.
Okay, let's go back to see where I'm off track already.
There we go. Yeah. So we did it. We ate at 20 restaurants for the channel. You're right.
And put Rhonda's comment. Yeah. A 3-week cruise would solve the restaurant issue. Yes, it would.
And a few people that were on the cruise with us, as always, if cruise ships have an empty room for the next week and you're already on the ship, they always offer you a good deal. And a couple of people took advantage and stayed for another 4 or 5 days. And that probably helped them try all the restaurants.
Yeah, because like I said, we had to make it a goal and work at it. Let's go back to our banners. So let's see, where are we next? We talked about accessibility. Okay, so for everybody that's not subscribed, let me ask you to subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified about future videos because we have a group of videos from Scarlet Lady coming. We have videos from a whole bunch of cruises. We did the math, 14 cruises since July, and we still have videos from all of those that will be coming. So we have a lot of content to be working on. Okay, so we'll talk about dining options, even though we talked about accessibility. 20 restaurants, and they're all unique in their own way. So I'll talk about a couple of the ones that I tried. They have a Mexican restaurant, Pink Agave. Its menu is not a typical Tex-Mex menu, but the food I thought was really good. They did it. They did good guacamole. They had the salsa is not as hot as I want it, but I'm a fire breather, so that's very rarely do I find anything hot enough. The street tacos at the Let's Taco About It was the name of that restaurant. Yeah. They are very big on puns.
Everyone's punny.
Yeah, pretty funny. But I thought I had a burrito and I had tacos. The street tacos were really good. I did go up and ask for some extra jalapenos, and they were glad to give me some fresh jalapenos, so that improved the heat level. But the food, the taste, everything I thought was good. The strangest restaurant we ate at was called the Test Kitchen. You want to talk about the Test Kitchen?
Oh, the Test Kitchen looks like a laboratory. It's like stainless countertops and some tables. And the waiters and waitresses, whatever the hostess, they're all wearing lab coats. And anyway, it was a different atmosphere, but they explained your food to you before you would eat it. And they offer you the option, which is similar to the on the other ships, like the chef's table, the chef's table where they pair your drink with wine. Here they offer you a chance for a fee. You can eat there for free, but if you want to pay a fee, then you get wine with each course, a different wine, and they'll explain why it matches that course. Or you can have a non-alcoholic drink that's chosen for that course. So I thought that was nice.
Okay, and you could also have a liquor drink to go with each one, or a beer. So no matter what your flavor of adult beverage was, you could get it paired with whatever it was you were going to eat. Now, the meal was a little different, and we'll have some pictures and video, create a video about it. But the first appetizer was the
mushroom.
Oh, yeah. They had a mushroom. And the mushroom dish was kind of interesting because think mushroom pate.
And it comes out shaped like a mushroom.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to like slice like a mushroom, but it's a pate.
Yeah. But very much mushroom flavored. No goose liver. So it tasted good. It was just interesting. And they had some little itty bitty other mushrooms in with it as well.
I think they had crackers that we could eat with.
Yeah, that little bread thing that you could put it on.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting. They had, then they did a scallop and like cured ham.
It's like this was like a soup or a broth. The broth was chicken and ham broth mixed. The scallops were cooked with it and a few seasonings in it, but it was excellent. It was very good. I have never eaten scallops before, and I liked them that way.
Yeah, this was very much an experience of trying things you haven't tried. Now, the next piece of the appetizer trio, or I don't know where you call it there, but anyway, the next thing they served was a challenge for both of us, and it kind of flipped what we would have expected. For those that know me, I used to work on a chicken farm.
He would not eat eggs or chicken when I met him.
Yeah.
But, we're on a budget all the time. So you have to learn to eat eggs and chicken. And so he's very particular about those things. And he doesn't like runny eggs at all. He wants them scrambled hard with lots of stuff in them and salsa on top to smother it with the salsa. So they bring us out a real pretty circle of peas, just beautiful looking peas, and this egg that looks raw, egg yolk in the middle of it. And it's not raw. They've cooked it at extremely low temperature for an hour, I believe, so that it was safe to eat. And I used to eat like runny eggs on toast, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. But he finished it. I couldn't.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it was the exact opposite of what I thought would happen. But I did manage to eat it, and it was okay. Like I said, it wouldn't be my favorite. I would never order it. But if somebody served it to me at their house, I now know that I could do it and eat it, and do it without embarrassing myself or them. And then that did come with toast, which helped because you could put it on the toast, and it gave it texture and hid some of the raw eggs, or well, not raw, but yeah, runny egg stuff. The next thing that we ordered is you had a choice of either venison or beef, and the venison was imported from New Zealand. It was farm raised. I didn't go there. I had and Cheryl had the fillet. And when the fillet came out, it was really interesting in its presentation because it was on a plate, and on the plate there were some kind of berry stuff.
I think like a mixture of blueberry and raspberry juice splattered. It looked like something had died on the plate, and the meat was like It looked like a tree trunk, just kind of sitting on it. I don't know. It was interesting. Even the waitress commented about it looks like something died on your plate there. Oh, yes. Hard to think about all this food, though. And yes, we agree with Pam. Pass on the egg.
But so they put a little piece of chocolate on top of it and poured some gravy on it. That was really good. Then they had two kinds of dessert. We had the last one was the chocolate, but what was before the chocolate?
There were two desserts.
There was something else in there. Anyway, it was good. But that was the most unusual of the restaurant. Steakhouse, it's called the Wake. You're sitting on the back of the ship looking out over the wake. It was gorgeous. We had, I think, steak and seafood. I think.
And what I like about this ship is that it's a very elegant looking restaurant, but you can go there in your shorts and you don't feel odd. They don't make you, they're just totally relaxed with you being in your shorts. And that's the way a lot of people came to eat there. And you get this wonderful, gorgeous meal like at a formal restaurant. And you're thinking, boy, everybody should be wearing a gown. And you don't have to mess with any of that. You just have a good time, have a fantastic meal.
Okay, so everybody put in the comments, please, how many days you think I wore shorts to every meal. So in the comments, 5 days, how many meals did I wear shorts at every meal? Okay, and while you're working on that, we'll go back to it. So we did the Italian restaurant. I thought the food was well prepared. I thought it tasted good, but it was different than maybe other ways you've had it. I thought I had the sea bass. I thought it was really good. It was kind of what I expected. Cheryl had, what did they call that to the duck? I mean, to the chicken?
What was the name of it? I had chicken, like a chicken piccata, and I could tell that it was cooked with capers, but they didn't have any capers in it, but I'm sure there was an accident. But it tasted fine. I was disappointed because I absolutely love capers. But I still gave the meal like 5-star because it really tasted good. But 5. 5 days. Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Pam and Ron are both right. 5 days, the whole trip. Yep, that was me. And I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was just nice not to have to worry about getting dressed up. I mean, you try to, we get clean and, put on fresh clothes, but it was just nice not to have to worry about carrying formal gear and dressing up and all of those things. But anyway, Cheryl's chicken was a young chicken and it was a cut and had, butterflied. And
and for the most part, it was deboned. And it was very good. It was very nice. But I like the appetizer and the desserts. I remember I liked the appetizer and the desserts at the Italian restaurant. And during the week, they also give you an option of going for free to you can try the appetizer at the Italian restaurant when it's not mealtime, or you can just and it's worth it because you might want to eat it twice.
Yeah, it was very good. Anyway, so all in all, and we'll cover all the restaurants in it. But we ate 20 restaurants and never had anything that I would consider bad. For the most part, everything I ate, I would eat again. They range from little. They have a little place at the back on deck 7 that's open air, and to get like shrimp on the barbie or a little hanger steak on the barbie. They did polenta and some other stuff, but it was steak and shrimp for me. So let's go on to our next thing because this is really interesting.
Oh, wait, I didn't get to talk about Razzle Dazzle.
Oh, we got to talk about
Razzle Dazzle. It's like a first plant-based restaurant at sea, but no secret here. But they also have, I think it's New York strips and some other meats, and they have chicken dinner and stuff. But I did try the vegetarian; it was excellent. I think I talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, so this is interesting. Because Cheryl and I both, and it's funny, we didn't even realize.
Oh, yep, you're so right. We packed. This was the least we've ever packed. We took one large suitcase less than we usually do. So, and it was great not having to pack a lot of fancy clothes.
And I would say, but here's the interesting thing, and we didn't really even. It's one of those things that you notice, but you don't know what it is that's different. And we were in the pool, and we were talking with this lady that was in the pool with us. And she said, one of the things I've noticed is this ship's so quiet. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And we're thinking about it. And then it dawned us, they don't make announcements. The captain doesn't make any announcements. The cruise director doesn't make any announcements. Nobody makes any announcements. Nobody's interrupting your sleep, your concentration. You don't have to listen to them telling you to run by bingo cards. They have bingo, but nobody's going to disrupt the ship. So we loved that about this. You could say the place for getting information was different, because in the elevator they had LCD panels that in general just reflected like bubbling water and something, jellyfish or something moving around in it. But if there was an announcement that needed to be made, you went in the elevator, like debarkation instructions, different things, where you got off at a port, all that was in the elevator. So you walk in the elevator, you get all the information, and you don't have to listen to anybody tell you.
It was very, very nice. I can't, like some ships, they make a few announcements, but there were no weather announcements. There were no ads for go to the shops right now. There were no ads time to go to the casino for a special. No, nothing. And the only announcements were like a welcome on board from the captain, very brief, and then he would tell everyone, make sure you do your safety briefing. Once everybody had done their safety briefing, he said, thanks everybody for doing our safety briefings. Welcome aboard. And then that was it. We never heard another announcement until they had like the crew had their tests that they, their safety crew drill. And there was a few brief ones for that, and that was it.
Yeah. So like I said, we enjoyed that. Got a comment up there? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so now let's talk a little bit about Bimini Beach Club, because I think that for a pure beach experience, both for the food that was available, the music and the things that were happening, the accessibility, that the Bimini Beach Club is the best beach we have seen.
Well, it's right up there with the other ones. I do love the beach though, and the water on Bimini. I mean, Bimini, you just can't, and you just can't beat the water on Bimini. I don't think anywhere, but there's some others that I think, I don't know. Maybe because of accessibility, because they do have mats. They have several mats that go down almost to the water, and they do have a water. Didn't they have
a pool lift?
No, the beach wheelchairs.
Oh, they had multiple beach wheelchairs.
Didn't try the beach wheelchairs.
Yeah,
but they had several, and I forgot about that.
Yeah, and plus they had
you can
pathways.
get in the water with, right?
Yeah,
you get into the water with them. We should have done that.
But they have pathways that are paved all around. So there was really nowhere on the beach short of getting to, right in the water. We couldn't take Cheryl's wheelchair, which I thought made it super accessible. And there was a lot of activities planned. It was really funny. I was teaching class on, I think it was Thursday. It was they were there. I was teaching class. And in the area that I was planning on using, I thought they had a really convenient table, and then they turned the sound on, and everything on the table was bouncing up and down. And so I immediately grabbed my stuff and ran to a quieter spot. But I guess that's one of the nice things, is there are quieter spots, because I taught class and it was gorgeous. Like I said, the water is incredible. It is just such a crystal clear. We were on Bimini on a carnival cruise, and we loved it. We loved Bimini then. I loved the beach club, the way they set it up. You have a tram that picks you up just right at the end of the ship, basically, and it'll drop you right at the entrance, and it runs back and forth all day long. You can take your wheelchair, and again, from accessibility, you just wheel right up onto the tram.
Yeah, well, they pushed me.
Yeah, well, they pushed you. But I mean, you would take a scooter, you just got a ramp, you go up, and you get to Bimini, they pull the ramp out, you go down. And in all of those ways, I loved those things about the beach club at Bimini. I loved the two big freshwater pools. They had pool lifts. Now, we stayed till about...
the pools. The pools also make it a very nice beach club. And there's no children in the pools. Because when Virgin Voyages is there, the beach club is theirs, and they don't have children on board. So it was plenty of room in the pool and quiet, and nobody splashing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and now when we get ready to go, the adult kids were getting ready to play in the pool because they had like pool float thing, some kind of a pool float thing coming up. And the pool started to get filled up with these huge floats and stuff. But again, it was all set up for the adults.
Yeah, it was a pool party for adults. That's the one. That's just another way that they have a way of making you feel like a kid on board. They had big tire swings with nets in them that I forgot to try. They had the popsicle stand. I just can't. There's everywhere you go around board, you're like, oh, they're making me feel like a kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, they had red licorice, saltwater taffy. At the, I mean, you could just for free. You just by the fudge counter.
The fudge was free too,
and the fudge was free.
And the fudge was good.
So they really
both flavors.
Yeah, and then they had the pool, the floating things in the pool at a beach party in the afternoon. It was.
They had teeter totters.
Oh yeah.
And for adults, they had these things that like four. It's like a 4-person teeter totter thing. I'm not sure what you call it, but they had toys that we played, things we played with when we were young. But again, it was there for the adults. They had these like hammock tire things that you could swing in. They also had them like for seats. I have pictures of that. Had a big net. Okay, and I have video of this. I have a big net that on deck 16.
Maybe about 10 by 12 feet.
Yeah, and
in the floor.
Yeah, in the floor, and you walk out on it, and it's like I said, it's a net, and you walk out in it, and it's not real stable, but you can look straight down and see the water on the in the wake. So that was pretty cool. So we have some video from there. More comments. But again, everything was really
right. Yeah, I like the pool. I like the pool on the boat, no children, and I like the pool on the Bimini Club with no children. Yep.
And Rhonda says, yeah, and I talked about this a little bit last week. When I got on board, I was not expecting to enjoy the vacation at the level we did. And in reality, just about everything about it, I loved. Okay, so now Rhonda and Pam, you guys time your schedules together, and then you can get a cabin together, and then you don't have to worry about the solo supplement. There you go. Finding solutions here. That's what I'm doing.
Get the big accessible cabin there.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about our last piece of it, and that's entertainment on board. And this, what I'm going to say is I'm going to share a caution with you. There were 3 shows basically during the cruise. One of them, it was very clear from its name that it was not for us. One of them was not that clear, and it was more risque than we expected, and really we didn't enjoy it because of that. And then the 3rd show was just absolutely amazing. It was a modern day version of gymnastics and tumbling and juggling.
West Side Story Romeo and Juliet type theme. And it was very, it was wonderful. They were dancing, and said they were acrobatics, just amazing. And it goes on for I think it's a 50-minute show, I think, or 55. It was very good, and it's a small theater because where they're acting it out is in the middle. So there's one side and the other side, and so you're really close. I mean, even if you're at the top, you're only about maybe 10 or 15 rows up. So, and what they did is they showed it several times so that different people on board could see it. And it was amazing because we were like at the bottom. If you're in a wheelchair, they wheel you right in, and they pull out some chairs off the bottom, and you sit there right at the bottom, and they're just jumping right in front of you. And they also had juggling. I think juggling, a number of things they did, and it was just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, they had like like the big boards where one person jumps on it, and they keep.
They were going up like.
It was like circus level acrobatics kinds of thing.
I kept hoping they didn't hit. I was afraid they were going to hit their head on the roof of the room, but it was amazing what they did in flips, jumping like off the teeter totter and flipping, doing a triple flip and landing right back on it. It was really good.
There was a lot of music around on the ship. Cheryl and I were pretty much worn out because we'd been doing some house hunting on our way down, and so we'd had a It'd
We
been a
needed the
long
rest.
week. We needed the rest, so we did not endure much into the night any night. The one thing I would say is they had on board a blues band. There was just typically it was a two-man, a drummer and a guitar player. But every once in a while, the bass player from the ship's band would sit in, and they were incredible. Just a really good showman, really good singer. You couldn't have asked for better blues music. And that's really the only music that
There was a single guitarist.
there was a single guitarist. Now that wasn't my cup of tea, but he was excellent.
Played
So-
very well.
Yeah, it was amazing listening to him. It's just the music he played wasn't just not my thing.
And then there was a woman that sang songs from the 80s one evening.
Yeah.
But I think most of all we liked the one show. The acrobatic show was amazing.
that was far and away our favorite show.
So I would say that if you're not adventurous in your entertainment, then book it for a nice quiet cruise and just avoid some of the entertainment. Just read about each show before you go, and then it would work out just fine for you. If you really want to go to a cruise and you want to watch New York style entertainment shows and you're sensitive, then this might not be the cruise for you.
Yeah. And you know us, we tell it like it is. It's going back, there's only one of those shows I would go to. There's only one of those shows I'd recommend my friends go to. But again, that is a personal decision. I'm not judging, what people choose. It's just for us, like I said, just the one show was the one we really enjoyed. Okay. So enjoy having everybody with you. Next week, we're scheduled to have Julia Glick. She is with Virgin Voyages. We're going to come on and talk about some other kinds of accessibility things that we didn't see, a little more about how they support and how they help. They did have ambulatory accessible excursions, both in the Dominican Republic and on Bimini. Now, we didn't do any excursions our day in the Dominican Republic. We were just busy doing stuff there on board. And then, like I said, Bimini, we spent about half a day on the island, but I had not been in the sun enough to stay out there much longer. I came back to the ship a little bit toasty.
Oh, what I found interesting about one thing about the entertainment we didn't mention was they have like little like trivia sessions like other cruise ships do, but they also had like a jigsaw puzzle, and it was I think it was 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and they have like 3 of the same 1 or 4, and you get in groups of 3 or 4 people and you try to finish it first. You have an hour to finish it, and then they had I think Sudoku challenges and other challenges. So there's other ways to keep busy. They do keep you busy a lot of different ways. Oh, and we didn't mention today how good the ice cream was.
Oh.
The ice cream.
Again, they couldn't resist the pun, so the ice cream stand was "Lick Me Till Ice Cream." So again, a little bit risque, but and again the pun involved. But the ice cream was amazing and free.
Oh, and we also found out that they had a sex therapist on board who did group sessions. So we didn't attend, can't give you any advice on that. We just say that it's there. So it just kind of shows kind of fits in with some of the other things that were on board, I guess. Yeah.
It is very, like I said, nothing was really in your face or, like I said, other than the one show we went to, like I said, we wouldn't do that, but it wasn't like out and around there was anything that I found offensive. It was just that, some of the shows were a little more risque than we are.
Oh, let's see. Oh, so what's this one? Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, so like I said, we'll invite everybody back. Do me a favor. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like button. That lets YouTube know they can share it with other people. Next week, if you have questions about other things as far as accessibility, you'll...
Okay, yeah. The ice cream thing is funny.
Yeah, like I said, it was just there were all these puns around. I can't even begin to remember all of them, but they chose to be as funny as they could.
Yeah, the restaurant menu names and things. Yeah. You'll have fun on board.
Yeah, well, like I said, we enjoyed it. We will definitely be back on board. If you do go on board, they have some specials. So you might think about booking your next one if you enjoy it, because they were giving away some good stuff this time to those that booked. Anyway, we're going to let everybody go. We appreciate everybody watching, joining in. It's so nice to have you guys here. And we hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it interesting. And we will see everybody next Sunday, 7 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for joining. Bye.